Yes people, what is good? I am BA, back once again with another reaction in the Deadwood series. This is episode 11 of season 2 and it is called The Whores Can Come. Last episode, the General and Hostetler had to skip town because they were worried they were going to be hung because it was their wild horse that got loose and caused the accident. Mrs. Rayhausen finally took the money and left. I hope we never see her again and I hope she sticks to the contract she signed. But the main thing is basically two lives hang in the balance. Seth and his wife's kid and the big guy who was shot after selling his gold claim off to Mr. Walcott. I thought he was for sure instantly dead. To be fair, I thought they were both instantly dead, but they are both still alive and fighting for their lives, and that is basically where the last episode left us, so I'm looking forward to getting into this week. So without further ado, this is episode 11, season 2, The Whores Can Come. Let's check it out and see what it's saying to it. Al getting his morning cup of tea. Cheers, Al. I would have loved to have visited this set before they tore it down. Knowing it was built and then probably dismantled after filming is quite tragic. I cannot believe that. Are they just letting these Chinese prostitutes die then burning them on a fire? So fucked up.
Wait! 你走了! 你快点走了!
It's cool to see that Wu is completely against this. He's probably annoyed because that was a meal his pigs could have had. Oh, so William did die. I thought that was him dying at the end of the last episode.
You abide me beside you? 20 paces or so.
Probably not the best time to be having a business conversation while he's carrying his son's coffin.
He may try you to confirm we're allied. You're not to advance the cause.
All right.
Much respect to Seth for having that conversation while carrying the coffin. I'm assuming his son wasn't in it.
Let me die.
Was that thank you and whale talk?
I can't believe this guy survived. I thought he was like instantly dead from those gunshots. I don't think Mr. Walcott will be happy to hear that he's survived.
Next time he opens his eyes, he's gonna think he died and went to heaven.
Good point. If you were shot to death gambling and then woke up in a brothel, you'd be like, what? God has smiled on me this day. As I expected, by the way, Seth seems to be so far handling this much better than the boy's biological mother. She's going to be torn to pieces because of this, I presume. I know people were a lot more hardcore towards death in general back in these days because it was more common, but still, the loss of a son has got to be tearing her apart. That's an interesting shot Seth is wearing right now. Picked himself out a little blouse. I cannot stop looking at this shot now. What the fuck is that? And when did that become popular for guys to wear?
San Francisco cocksucker, Wu, your mortal fucking enemy.
Switching!
Wu?
Switching.
These broken English conversations are some of the best in the show. They convey so much with so little use of English.
Their spirits are fucking nothing if their bones don't get back home, is that it?
So they need to be returned back to China. Is that what he's asking?
Swedgen fucking gets it. Swedgen doesn't give a fuck.
I like how Al refers to himself as Swedgen when he's talking to Wu.
I can use the plate if you want to leave that.
Wu looked more heartbroken he wanted his plate.
Hearst is in the other chink's corner, meaning Wu has to lose.
Wu doesn't necessarily have to lose. They don't have to crumble and fall over for this Hurst guy. I know he's powerful, but they can fight back.
Hearst chink, boss in that alley, ain't to my fucking taste.
Nice, that's what I like to hear. Minus the, the racism.
Wu was sketching up a store and drawing fucking little pictures of himself, brandishing the lash, driving from a delivery ship a quota of chinks at half the fee.
So they're planning to undercut the other Chinese guy so that Wu gets in with Hurst, is what I'm getting from that conversation?
Wu we can put on ice.
Well, how do we dissuade the other chink?
Good question. They don't seem to have any sort of interaction with him. I forget his name. Is it Mr. Lee? I don't think any of them have spoken to that guy. The only person that has some sort of communication with him is Mr. Walcott.
Our acquaintance is established, Blazanov. And for my part, our friendship.
That is quite the bow tie. The fashion choices in this episode are quite out there.
I could distribute them in these pigeonholes to be collected by the guests at their leisure.
I am not permitted.
Good call. All he wants is to be able to read everybody's mail before they get it.
Black Hills Telegraph Company requires personal delivery by Blazanov. I am not permitted.
Yeah, fuck you, Farnham.
Sins and stupidity omitted.
He's such a little rat to the end, isn't he? He would pay $5 a day to be able to read everyone's mail.
Very dramatic we get at the passing of the fucking young.
Yesterday was a terrible day.
Agreed, yesterday absolutely sucked, especially for Seth and his wife, obviously.
Few choices, as are ours to make. Others should stay the fuck out of the process.
I still really want to know why Trixie is so invested in her taking Ellsworth as her husband. It seems like Trixie wouldn't have a stake in it either way, but she really wants Miss Garrett to choose him. But I do like how much she clearly cares for Sophia. It's her redeeming quality.
Telegram for Mr. Jerry.
Yes, I am he.
Well, fuck you, Commissioner Jerry. That guy's very good at his job as well. He doesn't seem like he'll be easily bought off.
I'd hope, in the throes of this day, you'd not make any final decision.
I can't bear to stay.
She's leaving already. That's quite strange, because she was only introduced at the start of this season. I assumed her story would be quite continual, and she's just arrived with her son. Her son's died, and then she's leaving again. There doesn't seem to have been any impact or consequence in her character's introduction to the show, if this is how it goes down.
I suggested to Mr. Bullock that we hold service in front of the house.
That would be fine.
It's good that Deadwood has another preacher arrived. It's crazy to see this guy's character arc. He went from dying in the woods due to the smallpox plague, and now he's went away, had a shave, and has came back a man of God to take place of the late Reverend from season 1, may he rest in peace. Deadwood definitely needs a man of faith around, and I'm not religious myself, but I feel like this town could benefit from it.
Will there then be a passing by of the casket after the service?
No.
Certainly.
Gotta feel bad for her. She is absolutely distraught, as you would be. I can't even imagine what it would be like to lose a kid, but I feel in myself that I personally would probably never recover from it. And anybody that does recover from it and continues to have a happy, fulfilling life, I mean, they're so strong mentally.
That's all now.
My reluctance to intrude nearly kept me from coming at all.
Yeah, but it didn't though, did it? You still came. Seth could barely get that out. It's tough to see him feeling so much pain. He's such a stoic character in general. The only real emotion we've actually seen is him lose his temper, but to see him heartbroken is difficult to watch.
You'd deliver the 50 to Swearingen.
Who'd no doubt prefer the check to have the bribe on record.
So...
I like how Al makes sure the bribes are on record, so he has documented evidence he has paid people off.
Tolliver, where I was attacked the other day, and you failed to come to my aid.
Yeah, fuck you, Si. In his time in need, you were nowhere to be found.
Will they be allowed to pay their respects?
By who?
By you, most importantly, as always.
It would be nice of Al if he let the people grieving the loss of this kid to go and pay their respects. It's even nice to see that even the women at the brothel as working girls care so much about the loss of a child.
Shut the fuck up!
Obviously, Al's just trying to keep his business running smoothly, but you can't fault them for feeling so down about what's happened. It shows a communal spirit, if anything, that the town has.
Maybe wait a little. Yeah, I'll wait a little bit before I fucking get in.
Yeah, don't burn yourself, Jane.
You need a bath, Jane.
And I'm gonna fucking take it! I'm raising the general fucking question.
Jane actually strikes me as someone that doesn't take baths that regularly. We haven't actually seen a clean Jane, I don't think.
I ain't afraid of newness. It's the blisters give me powers.
Blisters from a bath, or she already has blisters.
I don't like funerals.
I do! I can't get enough of them!
I don't think anybody likes funerals, Joni. I've never seen someone at a funeral like, this is good, this is even better than the last one. Nice to see you again. I brought punch.
Let me ask, might the horse pay the dead boy the respects?
I think this is the nicest Trixie's been to Saul in about 4 episodes.
Pimp's a horse familiar. So the sudden, strange, or violent draws her to him.
And I can see what she's saying there, you know, if you are a lifelong hooker, then your pimp is in some ways your protection, your saviour. Even though they're ruthless and harsh towards you, you'll still have a bit of Stockholm syndrome there. Still though, Saul's been so cool to her, teaching her accountancy. The fact that she's been a bit of a traitor toward them these last few episodes will not go unforgiven by me just yet.
I don't do business on the day of my godson's passing.
That is not Al's godson, is it? No way.
Practicality dictates granting Yankton further counter.
I think I get it now. So Commissioner Jerry represents Yankton's wanting of annexation toward Deadwood, and they're worried that through Bullock, Montana is going to annex it under their rule instead of Yankton, so it's a sort of competition between Montana and Yankton just now. Have I got it right? I'm finding the politically side of this the hardest to follow, but I am trying my best and do watch each episode multiple times, and I'm still finding it difficult.
You do remember me, Andy?
Oh, I think he fucking remembers you, mate. The guy that dumped him in the woods, yeah, he remembers you. Luckily, he probably also forgives you. That's how crazy religion is to me. I'd never forgive this cunt.
I fucking schooled you, Andy Cramed, to the variety that can be played.
I don't practice deception anymore.
Sai just does not believe he is a man of the Lord now.
The Lord risen, the wheel of the shall and be in this camp. For you, it's by my leave.
Don't knock his head like that, you prick.
Don't let me find you trying, Andy.
It would be a shocking turn of events if he was still there to hustle, and this whole religious thing was just a facade.
You heathen fucking cocksucker. Jesus fucking Christ, there will be no violence between you and Wu while the grieving goes on.
Hal is sick of this guy already.
I am a civilized person.
He definitely speaks better English than Wu. I think he understood everything Al was saying there.
You want to go to the fucking service or fucking not?
Don't have to ask us twice.
I think the whole town's going to show up to this funeral pretty much. It's nice to see the solidarity.
What price will you take for your hotel, Mr. Farnham?
Why do you ask?
Because I want to buy it.
He's trying to buy the whole hotel. Why would Walcott want the hotel?
If you are chilly in 10 minutes' time, pray for my immortal soul, because some fatal mishap will have befallen me.
Is Farnham acting like this because he's excited his hotel might be getting sold? Or because he doesn't want to sell and he's being pressured?
Cocksuckers think they can take away everything.
Ah, okay, so he doesn't want to sell. He might get a good price for it. I think it's part of his identity to own this place though, so it means more to him than money. Which is, you know, a rare thing to see Farnham value something over material possession. I guess the hotel in and of itself is a material possession to him though, and gives him a bit of power in the town.
That means that there has been a death.
We know there's been a death.
We know now, but that bird crashed into the window and died a while ago.
I think the bird hitting the window signifies only the death of the bird hitting the window. Rest in peace to the bird, as well as William.
Not new footwear. Oh, I ain't never heard that.
To be fair, I've never heard that either. I didn't realise you couldn't show up to a funeral wearing new clothes. I thought that would be respectful to be as, you know, tidy as possible.
I'm sprinkling it. At the fucking doorways.
Sprinkling whiskey at a doorway to stop evil. I have never heard of that superstition before. Where does that come from?
Difficult things are to understand or to live with.
Is this her trying to explain death to Sophia? It's a rough conversation to have with a kid that young, but luckily she has experienced it herself already, in the case of her entire family, so if you're going to talk to any kid about it, Sophia will be the most understanding.
Oh, thank you.
Ah, that's cool to see. At least they've got one another. Miss Garrett has been a good guardian to this kid.
No one that's turned in a needle. Try eating the dope or shoving it up themselves.
Trixie making sure none of them are high at the funeral. I guess someone's got to.
Underarms clean, cunt braided.
They're ready.
Gotta braid a cunt before you go to a funeral. It's tradition. I wonder why Al didn't want to go to the funeral. Is it because he doesn't want to appear weak and it will actually move him to sadness to see that shit? Hey, Jane's looking fresh. It's kind of fucked up when you think about it, the difference in the value of life though. At the start of the episode we saw the bodies of Chinese women just getting thrown on a fire, with one person and Mr. Wu giving a shit about it, and the entire town has turned out for the death of Seth and his wife's kid. Obviously the death of a kid is always horrific, but still, a life is a life.
Restoreth my soul. He leadeth me in the paths of righteousness for his name's sake.
If this preacher is still running a very long road hustle, he is doing a very good job. He's certainly researched his material. I do think he's turned another leaf, but it would be shocking if he was still a hustler just putting on an act.
Whom I shall see for myself, and my eyes shall behold.
Ah, poor woman. She just can't bear this shit.
And not another.
At least it was taking place right outside their house and she didn't have long to run. That's so brutal to see.
My help cometh from the Lord which made heaven and earth.
Think she just wanted to take one last look at her son before he was buried.
The Lord is thy shade upon thy right hand.
I do hope she changes her mind and stays in the camp. She's an interesting character and portrayed by a great actress in Anna Gunn.
Let the people come and say goodbye to
Shall preserve thy going out and thy coming in from this time forth.
That's cool, she's letting everybody go and pay their respects. Still can't get over what a transition this guy's had into his preacher role. He's truly a changed man. It's like two separate acting performances almost. It's as jarring as like Jack McCall showing back up as Mr. Walcott. Also, crazy that this guy's still alive, and I'm curious as to how he's going to respond when he gets back to full health if he survives these gunshot wounds. Is he going to come after Cy or Mr. Walcott? He knows they were trying to just keep the money he was owed. I genuinely think that Al only never went because he didn't want to get emotional.
Bring Wu here. Put him in one of the whores' rooms.
Oh, that's cool. So Wu's getting private security in Al's own establishment. Surely no one's going to come into Al's place and try and kill Wu there.
We picked flowers in William's graveyard. Me and Trixie.
Trixie and I is how it's supposed to go, I think.
Now's probably not the time to be correct in English, but he is correct.
Yes to the question you've asked me.
Oh wow, well I now pronounce you man and wife.
Swedgen! Nah, Wu. Swedgen.
They've learned to communicate with him in the exact same way Al does. It works. I wish I knew what he was saying. My Chinese is not as good as Wu's English, unfortunately. Trixie chain smoking there. I've been there, lighting one cigarette with the remains of the last one. Thank fuck I don't smoke anymore. I'm trying to eventually quit vaping as well, but it is so hard.
Be ye afraid of the sword.
Jesus
For
fucking Christ!
bringeth the punishment
Get
of the
him
sword.
the fuck out of here!
I'm liking him trolling Cy with his newfound religion.
Would your messages be sent to Helena?
Mr. Hurst is not a partisan in territorial rivalries, Commissioner.
Oh, God.
Al certainly drummed up the paranoia, whether it's real or not.
Welcome, George Hurst, to Deadwood of Dakota Territory.
Wow, I wonder how things are going to go down when George Hurst shows up. I know he's a famous historical figure, so I doubt he met his fate in the town of Deadwood, so whatever he does, he will not die. Which makes me think things are going to go his way, considering how powerful he was.
Did better in the orphanage. That fat-ass Mrs. Anderson hadn't turned out a fucking pimp.
You get a lot of his innermost thoughts while he's getting his dick sucked. It's a strange way of carrying himself, but you know, everyone has their own way.
You dye your hair?
I wonder if the nod on the dick felt good. So she's definitely leaving. I wasn't expecting her to stick to this.
As we are now.
Is she having second thoughts? I hope this character sticks around. Okay, and that was episode 11 of season 2 of Deadwood, The Whores Can Come, and I will be back in just a minute with my thoughts on that. So, The Whores Can Come, what did I think of that? That was a great episode all the way through. I found every single storyline they were doing in it, kept my attention to the fullest. I finally understood a bit better exactly what was going on between Commissioner Jerry and this and that. I believe it's a competition for annexation between Yankton and Montana. They believe that Seth is the go-between between Montana's annexation of Deadwood and Al, and obviously this is making Commissioner Jerry incredibly paranoid as to where Mr. Walcott stands on his decision. And now on top of that, he said Mr. Host is coming to the camp. I have no idea how that's going to play out, but all I know is that is one powerful guy. He's got enough money to buy out anybody he wants, anything he wants, and basically what he says goes. So I don't know how Al's going to maintain any sort of power over the place after Mr. Host shows up. It was cool to see the entire camp come together for the funeral as well. Everybody wanted to pay their respects. Even Al, who chose not to go, was clearly feeling very bad about the passing of the kid and was mourning the kid in his own strange way. And Wu's now been brought into Al's establishment to keep him protected against Mr. Lee. I don't know how this is going to play out, but like Al was saying, it seems like it would be in Mr. Host's benefit just to see how it pans out and then side with the winner rather than just back Mr. Lee when he doesn't have too much of a stake in it. I think if Wu does undercut Mr. Lee on prices etc, he could get in Mr. Host's good graces and come out of this okay. I would hate to see Mr. Wu killed because of this situation. I hope that doesn't happen. I've got to say, that guy showing back up as the preacher is incredibly jarring given what his character was like when we first met him in season 1, but it's cool. He did a good job at the funeral, and it's nice to see that he has actually turned a leaf in his life and is living for something other than, you know, selfish means. Seth's wife leaving, like I said, if she does leave, I just don't get what her character has brought to the show if she leaves now. Like, she arrived with a kid, caused Seth and Miss Garrett to have to separate, etc. The kid dies and then she leaves again. Where does that leave her character progression? Where does that leave Seth? Does it really change anything? I suppose if she leaves now, Seth might want to reignite his interests in Miss Garrett, only for her to have just accepted to be wed, so that could create some sort of issue maybe, but other than that, I feel like it's a wasted opportunity if she leaves now. So hopefully we haven't seen the last of her character, but I have no idea where Seth's story goes from here if she does leave. It was nice to see Saul and Trixie sort of have a conversation on the level, by the way. After multiple episodes of her seeming a bit two-faced towards Saul, even though he's teaching her accountancy, etc., it was nice for them to finally have a conversation on the level where they were just laying their cards on the table. She was explaining to him, look, I went back because that's how it is. If you're a lifelong hooker, you have some sort of affection for your pimp, and she broke it down in plain English for him, and I don't think he could be mad because at least she was telling the truth to him and explaining how it was. All in all, I absolutely loved this episode. I can't wait to see how the season wraps up next week, and I'm also looking forward to season 3 beginning the week after that. If you've liked this video, click like, subscribe to the channel to see more videos like this, ring the bell to be notified as to when they drop. If there's anything you want to talk about, comment down below and share this around to anyone you think might appreciate it or want to watch these reactions along with us. My Patreon link is down in the description. If you become a patron, you get access to my blog, you get access to these reactions I put on YouTube a month and a half in advance, and you also get access to full-length versions of everything I react to. So consider becoming a patron, it helps me and my channel out so much, and until next time, I have been BA, peace.